Hello everyone, and now welcome to game number 1 in a series between Maker and Happy. This is the finals from the most recent MooCup, for those of you guys who are following along. And if you guys are also following along with the WarCraft 3 news, there is going to be a major patch to WarCraft 3 coming up in the foreseeable future, maybe even during this week. Now, the patch may just be setting up new patches later on. What do I mean by that? A lot of players think that they are going to try and bring WarCraft 3 into the Battle.net 2.0 era, where, well, the patcher isn't based off of Windows 98 technology. Anyways, Maker opening up with the Death Knight, spawning on the bottom right hand side of Terranus stand, already has his Death Knight, and it looks like he is going to make some rounds, going straight after this Apprentice Wizard here, going to finish it off. I thought he was trying to get Frost Armor onto that Apprentice Wizard, but that is not going to be the case. Instead, it looked like Maker was purposely trying to allow the Rogue Wizard to get Frost Armor onto the last Apprentice Wizard before switching targets. Didn't quite work out there, as you do see Maker picking up a Tome of Strength, or will be picking up a Tome of Strength, as he finishes off this Apprentice Wizard here. Now, Apprentice Wizard will get taken down relatively fast. There it goes. He can go ahead and continue to try and creep out more of these difficult creep camps. He may even try this top right-hand side here. There are two Apprentice Wizards in the back. There is one Assassin, and that's exactly what he's going for, creeping out these more difficult creep camps already. As you can see that Assassin is somehow poisoning these skeletal minions to death. Alright, gonna go ahead and take that down, picks up a Circlet of Nobility, drops some additional skeletal minions as he now makes his rounds. One skeletal minion back off over here. Death Knight is sitting at level 1, will get to level 2. You can see that Happy has gone for the much more traditional Crypt Fiend opening. And he also has Unholy Aura. Where are these tuning units going to be trying to travel to next? That is the big question, as Maker is doing his absolute best to... Oh, there is a steal... Well, no. I believe Maker also did a Death Coil, and even though he got his Death Coil off last or later, because he was closer to his target, that Death Coil still finished off the target, allowing Maker to get to level 2. Skeletal minions now making their way down. We'll see what's going to happen here in the long term, as it looks as though the Death Knight is going to continue to try and clear out more of these central creep camps. A lot of skeletal minions alongside those Crypt Fiends. Death Knight now making its way back down, perhaps to the bottom left, hoping to finish off this bandit creep camp here. There you go. Death Knight gonna go straight after the Assassin, and Assassin will be taking a little bit of damage. 255 damage already. You can see that damage is slowly being absorbed. Death Knight is gonna go ahead and finish off this Assassin here, and well, pick up the item. It is a second Circlet of Nobility, as he now tries to wander back home. Alright, that is an additional 60 mana, 100 hit points, 4 damage, and 1.2 armor. I could also try to calculate the amount of natural regeneration given as a bonus, but, well, that'd be just too much geeky Warcraft 3 knowledge. Now, what are we going to expect to see in this Undead mirror match? A match that you don't get to see all that often, as Maker and Happy find themselves in the finals. Well, so far it looks as though the Death Knight has a lot of items that would really like to go onto a Lich. Mantle of Intelligence, adding in +6 intelligence right there, as the Death Knight now wanders around to try to take down that Renegade Wizard. The Death Knight is currently benefiting from a faster mana regeneration and more maximum mana, but I still believe that those items will eventually be given to that Lich. The Lich would already be benefiting from +12 damage even before the Orb of Corruption, as the Death Knight now looks to finish off this rogue here. Let's take a look down across here. Happy being very, very aggressive, clearing out the East Mercenary camp, and now going after the West. You can see that Blight has been dropped right here. Death Knight already up to level 3. Rod of Necromancy charge should be used here in just a moment, but as you guys know, Mud Golems do not drop any sort of skeleton, and because of that, that Rod of Necromancy could not be used. Interesting situation for Happy, losing out on a little bit of damage, finally getting off 2 additional skeletal minions right there, as the Crypt Fiend's gonna finish the remaining Kobold Geomancers. Tome of Agility, going back to grab it, gonna pick it up. Meanwhile, Lich is already out on the field with that plus 12 damage as expected. Enforcer is gonna get taken down very, very fast. Lightning Shield is in right there, needs to back away, still causing a bit of damage onto that Death Knight. Death Knight needs to back off that. The Crypt Fiend, perhaps with such a wide body, still proccing that proximity alert next to that Crypt Fiend. Lich now far enough away as the Devotion Aura going to be given to the Lich, but more importantly, we are going to see that Lich get to level 2. Skeletal Minion's going to get taken down there. There's level 2 as the last Brigand gets taken out. Death Knight Lich against Death Knight Lich. Supply counts 33 over 40 for Maker compared to Happy's 39 over 40. Maker does have a little bit more gold, or had a little bit more gold, as things do become a little bit more even once again. However, experience for Maker cannot be ignored. Maker is at level 2 on his Lich, but getting closer and closer to level 3. Also has a replenishment potion. He decided to sell that. Odd choice, picking up a potion of lesser invulnerability instead. And I guess with your Death Knight already sitting at level 3, 400 hit points is so easy to heal that the replenishment potion is really not necessarily worth it. Back off to the north, Lich is sitting at level 2. You see the Devotion Aura also for Happy's. Lich, so we are pretty much getting mirrored in terms of item. Lich also picks up an Orb of Corruption now, plus 17 damage with that -5 armor debuff. Really adds 5 bonus attack damage. The hero's attack also becomes ranged when attacking air and reduces the amount of armor that they are taking, as we now see a Dark Ranger being added in here. Dark Ranger, pretty safe target, knowing that your opponent is not going to be able to nuke down with a Death Coil, as the Lich is now trying to get to level 3. Lich, very close to level 3, picks up a Tome of Intelligence as well, up to 33 mana already, plus 17 damage, as a Dark Ranger is added for Maker. Happy, first one to 50 over 50 supply. Meanwhile, Maker is the first one to 3-3 on his primary 2 heroes. The Dark Ranger not going to be considered a primary hero, as we now see the 2 armies trying to engage against each other. Kobold Mancer, Skeletal Minions, Death Knight now trying to wander in. Skeletal or Obsidian Statues in that backfield. Death Knight getting silenced. What is happening here? Both sides still continuing to fight. Orb of Corruption trying to finish off some of those units, and it just isn't happening. Death Coil now goes across. There is the heal. Frost Nova trying to get taken down, and it looks like a Crypt Fiend will get taken down right there. Alright, there goes one Crypt Fiend. Death Coil saving a Crypt Fiend there. The lines are all just a blur, as both sides are trying to save their units, and you can see both sides losing a lot of units as well. 50 over 50 for Happy. Maker sitting at 38 over 50. Maker losing a lot more units, it appears, as another burrow does go down. We don't see any sort of reveal coming across anytime soon. Maker is unable to catch up to Happy's units here, as it looks like Maker will be... Oh, wow. You saw the missile attack, and it did end up getting taken down. Alright, if you did not see that earlier, you saw an actual Obsidian Statue that was low on hit points. It must have actually procced the hitbox. It looked like it was saved, but that was not the case. Lich now sitting at level 3. Death Knight sitting at level 3 as well. That Frost Nova taking down a Crypt Fiend and proccing enough damage onto an Obsidian Statue for it to get taken out as well. Extremely close. Dark Ranger now in serious trouble. Is it going to be able to get away? No, it is not. Happy now trying to come across. Not going to be able to do very much again, as the Dark Ranger does fall at level 1. If there was quality issues on this video, my apologies. XSplit constantly tries and resets my save quality, even though I always constantly bump it back up. Alright, Death Knight still dancing back and forth. Crypt Fiends are right here, ready to go. Dark Ranger, Death Knight, Lich, all of them are here, ready to go as well. Where are these units going to perhaps turn around and try and spot each other? We're looking at 47 over 50 by both sides in terms of supply. Maker with a slight gold advantage and a slight experience advantage right now, as they are now looking to clear out very easy creep camps. Now, I do question this move right now by Maker, but Maker must not believe he has that large of a lead, and he really does not. He could have considered pressuring, and all he can really do right now is try to creep out the top right-hand side of the map. There are not that many creeps here, and because of the lack of creeps, he may not be able to get a strong footing going into that next fight. When you have a level 5 hero versus a level 4, the difference isn't as big as, say, a level 3 versus a level 1. And that is the experience difference between those two particular heroes at that stage. All right, Dark Ranger moving out. Lich moving out as well. Lich with 3 Mantles of Intelligence with Claws of Attack +6 and Orb of Corruption at +90 or +20 damage, getting up to 49 to 65. Add in that -5, as you're going to see that really just affect everything. All right, Death Coil saving that there. Death Knight unable to get the Death Coil off. Should be waiting for the Death Coil there in just a moment. Meanwhile, Obsidian Statue going to get taken out right there. There's a save there. Meanwhile, both sides are just fighting every which way. Who's going to end up taking more damage? Dark Ranger trying to escape, down to 57 hit points, and it looks like it will be able to escape. However, Maker unable to save one of his Obsidian Statues. Dark Ranger now at level 2 for Happy. Maker does not like what he sees. He tries to get away, and it looks like he will be able to do exactly that, but still take a fair bit of damage first. We are 41/60 compared to 41/60. Happy now with a commanding experience lead, 4-3-2 compared to Maker's 3-3-2. And we'll see if that level 2 Unholy Aura and Natural Regeneration perhaps makes a difference. All right, Death Knight is going to be ready to go. Dark Ranger, Lich, Death Knight prepping themselves, trying to get ready for that next fight. No Scroll of Town Portal on the Death Knight to replace it as of yet. Meanwhile, Happy sitting at level 4, level 3, level 2 versus 3-3-2. Maker still not getting the necessary experience, but still sitting at 20 or 49 hit points on the low side in terms of damage, and also 540 mana. That is incredibly high, as we're looking at the Dark Ranger getting a little bit more mana as well for those black arrows. Skeletal Minion quickly tries to run in, only to get absolutely destroyed right there. Skeletal Minion back on the south side, going off to the north, is going to spot all of this as the Death Knight goes after the Kobold Tunneler, hoping to get a little bit more experience. He will not get to level 4 off of this, but he should still be fairly strong at this point in the game. I'm currently down by about 40 experience on the primary hero, but ahead on the remaining heroes as well. Shade doing a bit of scouting. Death Knight now just waiting off to the north. What are they doing? It looks like we aren't going to be looking at any Banshees as of yet. No, there is the Temple of the Damned, and we are going into Banshee Mastery training. That could mean we are looking at possession, and if you're able to possess a handful of Crypt Fiends, you do steal your opponent's units, and you also actually net
a player's forces are
one supply, and this could be all done after you lay down a handful of curses. Dark Ranger sitting at level 2. Skeletal Minions now making their way up. Lich is very low on mana, relatively speaking. Could easily Dark Ritual one of those Skeletal Minions, get more mana back, and try to get back up into at least the 500 category. Once he's at 500, he should be able to let those Frost Nova fly and do a significant portion of damage. Banshees are added in by both sides right now. There's that Temple of Damned. A third one being added before we go into the Banshee Mastery training. Happy with a slight gold advantage. We'll see if that translates into anything, as the Death Knight did use that anti-magic shell potion a little bit earlier than I would have naturally expected. Death Knight now ready to go. Shade now coming back across down over here. Skeletal Minions are here as well. Not gonna be able to attack that Shade, as it is essentially just shadow melded or hiding. Death Knight still wandering around here. That Mantle of Intelligence +3. Intelligence adding in a Potion of Lesser Invulnerability, as both sides not quite sure what they want to do. Alright. Lich, Death Knight, Dark Ranger 4-3-2. Going up against a 3-3-2 with no one really ready to pull the trigger and start a true engagement. Alright, there's the Dust of Appearance. It looked as though the Shade realized that the Dark Ranger was moving away from them, decided to not stick around. As you see some skeletal minions now looking to back off here after scouting out that top right location. He's going to come take a look at this expansion, notice that it is not up as well, and then he has to start considering his options. He doesn't know if he's really ahead or not at this point. He does have 3-1 upgrades compared to his opponent's 3-0, but that is not a significant amount of additional armor to really affect the outcome of the game. Yes, an additional 12% effective hit points is rather nice, but focus fire means that those units will not really be lasting 12% longer in most situations. Dark Ranger, Death Knight, Lich. Where is the Lich? Lich still sitting off in the center portion of the map. Both sides just regrouping themselves, waiting for the other person to venture forth and perhaps make a mistake. Nothing going on right here. As I speed things up, there's a Dust of Appearance, unable to spot anything either, as the Crypt Fiends, Death Knight, Obsidian Statue are still lying in wait. Alright, Skeletal Minion able to escape at 9 hit points. Gonna try and proc itself over here, not be able to do it, as now we're at 66/70 supply compared to 68/80. Both sides jumping into low upkeep right now, and they're both trying to build the proper size army before they venture out again. Alright. 4-3-2 compared to 3-3-2, 77/80 compared to 68/70. Perhaps a bit more ziggurats would help, but even at this point, we are a little bit cash strapped by Maker as we see them head off to the north. Alright, 19, almost 20 minutes into this game. Death Knight gonna lead this charge. That is a whole bunch of units. Anti-magic shell, or anti-magic shell from those Banshees means that they are going to be very, very well protected. Those units are not going to end up falling apart except to anything but the, well, I guess there's a good amount. So the Crypt Fiends, the heroes, and those, oh yeah, Crypt Fiends, heroes, and these, well, the Crypt Fiends are going to be using most likely a defend or an anti-defend attack. We'll see how that really works as we're looking at the Lich still trying to engage off over here. Alright, here we go. Looks like an engagement is going to be ready to go here in just a second. Abomination is here as well. Are they going to actually try and take down some of these units? And as they are looking at more and more attacks here, Crypt Fiend is absolutely taking a beating. Anti-magic potion attempting to take down Happy. Both sides still fighting. A lot of green just sitting on the map. Difficult to tell who's winning. What is that? 80/90 supply compared to 66/70. Maker just may not have enough units to finish off his opponent. Scroll of Protection, however, does give him a slight advantage. +3 armor across the board, in addition to the help of the Devotion Aura from that Crypt Fiend, or excuse me, from that Lich, as that Lich is just sitting in that backfield now, nuking down units that he does not like. Alright, 54/70 compared to 78/90. Happy is just continuing to reinforce very easily right now. And this may be the end of it all, as the Crypt Fiends are now looking to back off. Crypt Fiends now continuing this stressful attack here. There goes another Crypt Fiend there. Death Knight continuing the fight. Death Knight now down to, was it 156 some odd hit points, down to 42. Gonna try and Death Coil, gets the Death Coil off, but gets Frost Nova instead. And you got to be careful about that Lich's Frost Nova. It is pretty much an insta-cast, as opposed, yeah. Anyways, happy, able to take game number 1 in the series. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed game 1. Please stay tuned for game number 2.